Hello everyone, I am Crawlers and this is EA's Battlefield 4 multiplayer presentation. Just under 6 minutes of nerdgasmic online fun. I mean, the whole time I was watching it I was thinking of just one thing. Take my money now! Damn it. I mean, that's about it. Okay, so many things to see in this gameplay, so let's just get to it. Okay, so we are choppered into the center city, and by the name of the mission, Siege of Shanghai, I'm going to gather that this is indeed downtown Shanghai. So we are dropped off as a part of this massive strike force, right? And you got tanks and helicopters and basically everything but the kitchen sink, converging on this building. And now here is one of the biggest of new points of this reveal. Commander Online. The signal that a commander of your team is now online and able to do support actions. One of the more epic ones to be seen a few moments later in the gameplay. Oh, and by the way, your squad now has 5 people in it, not 4, like in Battlefield 3. Also, this map is Conquest, and I'm going to guess Conquest Large because it's got 5 flags on it. Okay, so now as we get into this firefight, we can see that the weapon you are using is the CZ-805 Bren, a Czech assault rifle with, again, with 2 scopes on it. A Russian holoscope, the PK, which we saw in Battlefield 3, and an optional flip-up scope for a little more magnification. You're also carrying the standard sidearm, the M9. Now, you take the flag, which is lit by the squad attack action triangles that we're all familiar with by now, and you get some support points, right? So you reload, and you can see that one of your attachments is an M302 grenade launcher, which is going to come into an epic help in a second. So you peek outside, and you can't go through there. So you go back down, but while you do, you can see that you are indeed suppressed by that tank shell that was just fired at your head. So suppression makes a comeback, which personally I'm all for. Suppression helps realism in my opinion. Okay, so now you take out the grenade launcher and take out one of the support columns of the street above you. And what comes down but a tank? A whole damn huge honking tank comes down crashing through, through the sidewalk. Lol, I bet that driver was more than a little surprised. And I think this is what DICE meant when they said about Levolution. You can essentially change the battlefield and what the battlefield looks and feels like. And another dude, by the way, quickly makes his way to throw some C4 on the tank. And what's this? The guy is, yes, he is Recon. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, who am I kidding? Ladies don't play this game. Well, whatever the case may be, Recon now gets C4. Finally, a useful Recon class. I think we can all live with that, am I right? So, you continue on upstairs, and again, you give the squad the spot signal. And that is, you spot the enemy jeep, which then, when destroyed, will get you spot points. And while you're making your way through this mess, let's take a moment to admire the new vehicles, some of which caught my eye. Same ones we saw in the leaked alpha screenshots. I'm thinking these are the new MRAPs, or the mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicles. It's a new armored breed of personnel carriers they're using that have a few specific changes to protect, to protect the occupants from IEDs. like the actual floor of the vehicle is slanted on both sides, like a wedge basically, to deflect the oncoming shockwave away from the car itself. So you see, what happened before was that a metal horizontal floor of, let's say, a Hummer, when it was hit from below, it basically rose up incredibly quickly, riding the shockwave, and essentially killed all the occupants inside. So, let's hope this does some good, actually. Alright, so we're moving right along. You jump down to a speedboat, which we already saw in my previous breakdown of Battlefield 4 review on the Xbox, or the shitbox as I call it, and we start driving. A lot more speedboats and naval combat in Battlefield 4, this much is for sure, but are we going to see a speedboat superiority naval combat game mode? Much like, tank superiority in Battlefield 3? Well, that remains to be seen, but it would be cool, wouldn't it? But, of course, we see many bad guys who by now have their own strike boats and jet skis. Don't forget jet skis. Okay, so we start hammering away with the 30 Mike cannon and shove a tow missile in there for good measure. But here's where you'll notice that the vehicles in Battlefield 4 no longer have unlimited ammunition like in Battlefield 3. So the gunners in Battlefield 4 have their work cut out for them. Oh, and pause right here. What came off the back of the boat was 2 water skis. Okay, so our chopper goes down and shit hits the fan from all sides, right? We jump on the back of the jet ski from our own boat, which is like a mini escape pod, and we make our way to the building. Yes, shooting the helicopter is not a good idea. It'll probably take 20mm rounds and laugh at you. But still we see some kind of hit marker when we hit the chopper. Not really sure why or how much damage that does, but it's there. Okay, so you rush through the building, try to get away from the chopper, and you come to this ingenious contraption, an elevator. Is your mind blown yet? Mine is. Oh, and real quick before we get off the elevator, you are holding an aforementioned CZ-805 Bren assault rifle, and in front of you is an engineer holding a CZ Scorpion submachine gun, firing the 9mm round. And yes, both weapons so far are check. Now, the other characters in front of you are Assault and Recon, as signified by the stylish Django type hat. Now both of them are holding what looks to be the AK-5 seen in the previous reveal. It's a Swedish-made carbine, so the Recon class having access to it is not exactly straightforward. But look, I mean, usually snipers in the military, they work in pairs, right? And one being the actual sniper and, having a long-ass precision rifle, and the other one being a spotter, usually has an automatic weapon, just in case there is some drama that he needs to deal with. Now, that's how I make sense of this. So you get off, in more ways than one, on one of the top floors, and I mean, can you imagine splitting up the firefight among 100-floor skyscrapers? Alright, so the helicopter's back, and not for long. A good old-fashioned RPG makes short work of it. Take a look around and below you. Just awesome, isn't it? But what to do with all those tanks and shit on the road? But here's where the DICE general manager, Carl Magnus Drodson, comes in. being the aforementioned squad commander, he uses a tablet, a tablet in real life, to drop a few Tomahawk missiles on the tanks. And before we get to that, let's actually take a look at the commander thing and how it works. Now, the commander screen, you see all sorts of, real-time battle data, like the name of the other team's commander, the flags you have taken, the kind of support actions you have, and so on. And actually, the kind of support actions you have depend on the flags that your team is holding at the moment. So, if you don't have the gunship flag, you can't drop a gunship to support your team, and, so on. And basically, the commander then uses this tablet to literally point and click, a spot that you want to kill on the map and help out his teammates. Now, using a tablet to control the commander might be, awesome for console gamers, but hardcore PC guys will probably get their panties in a twist and totally poo-poo the idea of it. But what if I told you real people, real commanders on the ground, actually use these types of tough books and, tablets to actually recon the area, let's say from a recon drone in real life. That's going to spark your imagination and get those cocks turning, won't it? So, might not be such a bad idea after all. So, the commander points to a location on the ground where the tanks and things have gathered on the street and calls in a Tomahawk strike from a nearby battleship. And no more tanks. And real quick before I exit the commander screen, let's take a look at the commander abilities. You got scan UAV, EMP UAV, Tomahawk missile, deploy gunship, and infantry scan. All very interesting to see. I'm sure, this will just make a mess of the other team. You're not finished though. There's still a bunch of baddies here, and by now the building's becoming unstable. So what do? You open up a window and step out, of course. Oh, and real quick, look at the minimap. See the flag on top of the building, the C flag? Well, as the building comes down, it's no longer there. But wait for it, and boom, the building's down, and now the flag is back, but now it's in the middle of the rubble that was once, the skyscraper. And I hope you have enjoyed this, the Battlefield 4 presentation at E3 as much as I have. I know I can't wait for the game to come out. And thanks for watching. Please rate, subscribe, and such. Oh, and before I forget, this is something I wanted to see in Battlefield 4 very, very much. I want any melee attacks to be so you could, counter them. Like this guy does. Basically, what happens is a frontal knife attack animation starts, and as a cue to counterattack, press F appears on the screen. So if you press F and you catch the knife, you give it right back. Best thing ever, I think. But I also have a short video on that, and I'm going to link it below, and on the subject of counterattacking. Hope you check it out. And one last thing. In the background, you see a helicopter that looks to be a Chinese Z9 transport helicopter. Might be a different one, I'm not sure. Which seems to be a knockoff of the Russian Ka-60 Kasatka, which we're all familiar with from Battlefield 3. So, some pretty similar transport helicopters there. Alright, so thanks for watching. Please rate, subscribe, and check out my other videos at the end of this one. Thanks.